Even if my whole body is laid bare upon the coldest, jagged spine of this lonely isle, I will never let the child beneath me be touched by so much as a single flake of windborne snow. I am a raven mother, to see my fledglings hatch safely. I would rather brace their nest with my breast against every biting gust. With my wings, I shield myself from every prying gaze. From this moment on, for a long, long time to come, I will neither hide nor retreat. I can feel, all too clearly, that tiny yet tenacious warmth beneath me. There lies the whole world I must warm with my very life, day after day. Hunger was like a blunt blade, slicing across me again and again, yet I remained utterly still, until one day, beneath me, a faint, crisp crackling sounded, and a small, damp head clumsily pushed its way out of the shell. In that moment, all my hunger and exhaustion, it was as if we had all been cast far, far into the mist, yet the joy of first becoming a mother was as thin as the morning light quickly crushed layer upon layer by an even colder reality. To reach the sea from this solitary nest perched on the cliff's edge, we must first cross the vast, exposed expanse below, endless and fraught with peril. But the seagulls' shadows kept circling low. They were especially alert to any small moving target, so I could only lead the children, step by step, toward the edge of the cliff. First, I leapt into a glide and landed on the gentle slope below, and they didn't hesitate for a moment either. One after another, they followed close behind me and leaped off the cliff edge. They plunged into the thick moss like raindrops. Though they stumbled and wobbled, each one rose again unscathed. Yet my heart still hung in suspense, for the real, arduous path was only now fully laid bare. On the ground, there was nowhere to hide. We were left to rely on nothing but myself. I can no longer shield my children from every danger or guide them safely through, so I raised my head, no longer hiding, and let out a long, clear, and resounding cry to the sky and the wild world. No plea, but a summons, calling my kind to come. Perhaps that cry would instantly draw new eyes and threats, but fortunately, a few male rooks came rushing in from the direction of the waves, and soon after, more rook mothers emerged from their hidden paths, trailing behind them, following one wobbly little line after another. We quickly huddled together, all the adult birds, as if by silent agreement, shifted to the outer edge, forming a trembling living wall with their bodies that kept every fledgling safely at the very center. Then we began to move forward slowly, like a shifting yet resolute cloud, escorting the soft, fragile little lives at our center as we silently crossed this vast wilderness, where danger lurked at every turn. The seagulls' shrill cries sliced overhead again and again, yet we did not halt a single step. We simply tightened our formation, using our bodies to form a moving wall that kept pace with us. When my soles once again felt the icy touch of the seawater, and when I saw the children eagerly plunge into the shallows, beginning to splash about clumsy yet utterly joyful in the water, my heart, taut for an entire month, has at last begun to sink slowly into this tranquil, azure sea. In the Arctic, a mother's vigil over her child is the very first line of the poem, written in the depths of instinct. And when many mothers come together, many families have come together to safeguard those tender young lives. That solitary line of poetry has, bit by bit, been woven into an enduring narrative. This bond, both fragile and resilient, has kept us, year after year, between the desolate ice fields and the raging waves. To pass on life endlessly, at least for me, this journey has come to an end. For them, the true voyage has only just turned its first page. My body still hurtles through the sky, yet my consciousness can slip quietly into sleep. I am a wandering albatross, the loneliest traveler on this vast sea, and the most steadfast of watchmen. When I spread my wings, they stretch fully 3 meters wide. I can glide for thousands of kilometers on the wind, never once stopping. Humans say I'm the bird that flies best of all, yet they don't know that for me, flying isn't freedom. It's a long vigil. I can wander the seas for 5 years without setting foot on land. Half my brain has slipped into rest, while the other half keeps steering the flight. Yet my soul remains tethered to a solitary island. There lies my nest and my mate at this very moment. I've been circling the sea for a whole year, and the gale has already torn at my feathers. The scorching sun bakes my back as I push through thick fog and glide past frigid icebergs, circling alone on the boundless sea. Yet I never lose my way, for deep in my heart there's a map that clearly marks the location of that little island. That was the place where he and I first met. 10 years ago. The albatross has a long life, some live for more than 60 years, but we get only one chance in our entire lives to choose a mate. We don't fall for just anyone as readily as other birds do. We'll spend years slowly drawing near, dancing together again and again, until we're certain that each of us is the one. Once we've made our vow, it's a lifelong pledge to protect one another. Humans are quick to speak of promises as enduring as the drying up of seas and the wearing away of stones. Perhaps only we truly understood. Every year at this time, I would return to that island without fail, but this year, he was nowhere to be seen, standing before the cliff where we once lingered side by side. I gazed out at the distant sea, the horizon where sky and sea meet as the tides ebbed and flowed. Sunrise and sunset, full moon and waning, other albatrosses returned to their nests one after another, pairing off and nestling close, their beaks gently grooming each other's feathers. And I stand alone, the biting sea wind seeping into the gaps between my feathers, leaving me shivering uncontrollably. Over the years, the sea has grown ever more treacherous. The ropes cast off by fishing boats coil like giant pythons, tightening around our wings. Floating plastic is all too often mistaken for food. And even that slick of oil can leave us unable to spread our wings once more. Each turn we make to fly away may be our last farewell. I've been all alone for 2 whole weeks, hoping to slip away like sand at low tide, grain by grain, through the cracks between my fingers. An albatross will not seek a new mate. Even if it has lost its partner forever, it will carry on, standing firm on its own until one day, a sudden storm or an excruciatingly grueling flight had dragged us down into the depths of the sea. Just as I was about to surrender to fate, a dark speck appeared on the distant horizon. My heart leapt, just as it had the first time I saw him, his familiar figure drawing nearer with each step. The graceful arc traced by his wings, the luminous halos that spill from his feathers in the backlight, even the slight tilt of his stance as he eases his descent. I know them all too well. At last, he alights beside me, his plumage still faintly tinged with the salt of the far seas. We fumble awkwardly and touch. It was just as it had been in his youth, thin, his eyes etched with weariness, yet still alive. In that moment, all the loneliness he'd endured suddenly seemed worth it. Later, she laid an egg, and we took turns crouching over it, using the warmth of our bodies to shield it from the howling cold wind. Each time I return from fishing, I gently rub its neck, and it always lets out a soft little meow, as if to say, I knew you'd come back. Yet our reunions are always too brief. Food on the island is scarce, and I must once again set sail. On the day of my departure, he stood at the cliff's edge, watching me soar into the sky. No farewell, no plea to stay. We never say goodbye. Humans love to say that those they cherish are separated by mountains and seas. Mountains and seas may one day be crossed, but for us, mountains and seas were never obstacles. They were merely the stretched out measure of our love. The farther I fly, the deeper love draws me in. Once again, I plunge into the surging sea, torn by wild gusts that drag me downward. Yet I fear nothing, for I know that somewhere on this planet there lies a small island, and upon it a wandering albatross, patiently awaiting my return.